One. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Matt, aka the Lumberjack Landlord. Yes, I am still the Lumberjack Landlord. Yes, I am still not retired. I wanted to get those insults out of the way so we could just dive right in and handle the fun stuff. So, Mr. Zuber, what's it like being gone for an entire week and disconnected from the world other than the daily financial news?
It was interesting, right?
Okay.
I have no idea how lucky I am to talk with, these 7-8 millionaires, you two included, every week. Really, I have become friends, right? Anna and I have been talking for almost 4 years.
It's crazy.
Jonathan Twombly, Greg, 3 years. So you miss them, right? We still text or instant message each other. But yeah, you do miss it. You miss help. It's just fun when you talk to people that really get it and care. I think, we produce a lot of content on this channel, and, some people might think of it like TMZ, which I don't really get. But I think it's valuable, right? We've got 8, 9, 10 millionaires that tackle 3 hot topics. We're not a channel that pulls up an article from Realtor or Market Watch or Zillow and reads it to people. That's not valuable, in my opinion.
I agree.
We also have our original ideas that sometimes we're wrong on, right? So, and the other thing I really love is my experts and I don't always agree. In fact, I encourage disagreement. You and I, Matt, disagree. You did a video with Mike the other day that you think there's a 10% price correction coming next year or the year after. I'm seeing flat. Yeah. I think that's awesome that we disagree.
Me too.
So I
bet you hope I'm right.
Oh, dude, I hope freaking Reventure's right.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear. I hope Reventure's right. I don't see it, but I hope he's right.
Right.
I would love a 50% discount. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things for me to be really excited about. I feel really good about one rental at a time. I digested that video from that other guy and really thought about it. I watched it several times, and most of it was just name calling. Most of it was name calling, and so I like what we do. I'm not changing a thing. I'm going to still I'm going to still talk to the millionaires. We're still going to take hot topics, and yeah, so it was good to get away, right? I still did the daily financial because you got to do it. You got to keep a streak. Yep. 1,000 days is hard to do.
You got to keep it going.
Just got to keep it going. But other than that, yeah, I did one emergency on Sunday for Dan, but yeah, I had a good time. It was fun. Thank you for asking.
Oh, I'm glad you had a good time away. While Dion and I have been here working, although Dion has absolutely reached a whole new gear in lazy.
I know.
It's tremendous. I'm like, you up? Yo, you up? Nope, not up. He's reached a whole new gear. So, Dion, how's retirement, pal?
My new shirt is going to say, it's getting early. I should go to bed.
I mean, and here's the problem. You're creating that much more cash. You're spending that much less with those early bird specials. Like, this is completely counterintuitive. So, guys, thanks so much for taking the time with us today, doing the Three Amigos. First item that I wanted to talk to you about was just kind of state of the state. I think we're obviously seeing a lot from guys like us, from, the Redfins of the world, from Wall Street, from other talking heads on YouTube. The end is nigh. Well, all right, maybe. But I think that there's opportunity to just kind of further discuss that. And really, because I think one of the things I'm most proud of that we all do is we all talk to a ton of people. Like, on a typical week, I think we probably engage with 50 to 100 people each talking about real estate.
For sure.
So when we get together, you're talking about 150 to 300 conversations where we can kind of bounce some of the ideas and things like that we've heard from other people. We can kind of bounce some of the things off of each other. So, Dion, thoughts on state of the state, just based on the live streams we've done this week, kind of folks that we're talking to. What are some of the things that you're hearing that you think are fallacy or maybe some rooted in some truth?
So for me, the really cool thing is I agree with Mike 100%. That I like that we all kind of hang out and we all share this information. And I've mentioned it a few times. This is kind of like therapy for me because in real world, outside of YouTube world, I had 60 employees for like over a decade, 2 invested in real estate. So on a daily basis, I was never dealing with anybody who cared about their finances, which was great as an employer. I was like, hey, racking up that bad debt, you need overtime. This is great, right? It sucked. I tried to talk him out of it. And then I agree with Mike that we don't always agree. So here's one of the things I kind of disagree on like a core fundamental level. The state of the state doesn't matter to me. So Mike, you're educating people on, based on this experience over these decades, these items, this is what's going to happen in the future and what we're doing. And then you get the reventer saying, here's the opposite. And you get the other guy saying, predicting all kinds of things with scare tactics to get views, which I totally get. I did a live stream this week on Tuesday, which Matt jumped in for. Appreciate that. On don't time the market.
Yeah.
It's a version of dollar cost averaging. I mean, it's a tweak on it. You're not just going to spend an exact amount on a certain schedule, but you're hunting for the great deal. That's where I agree with Mike 100%. Always a good day to buy a great deal.
Yeah.
But I'm not in the prediction game. I made the bet with you guys on what I think was going to happen to rates, but if they went up to 20% or if they went down to the banks were paying us to borrow money, I'd be hunting for the next great deal.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hoping people that are watching do, is they sit back and they go, the market can do all kinds of things. What is their job that day? Do the work. Look at your deals. What's your average yield? Can you beat it? Go for that deal.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that. That is my message. It gets lost in YouTube clutter. It gets lost in fear and uncertainty and doubt. How to Get Started One Rental at a Time, the course, which you both are part of and created content for and done deep dives on, is all about that. What is average? It takes time to figure it out, and then only do great deals. I don't care about rates. I don't do this. I don't do that. But when I talk about state of the state, I get out of my own lane, right? Because you're right. I'm only looking for a great deal. Right now, I'm looking for great deals, predominantly seller financing, at least taking a 40% second, right? I'm being even hyper-focused. The other thing I'm doing, I'm building an ADU, assuming the damn thing ever gets approved, right? I'm doing these things, but I'm also trying to help people, right? So I was at an event last weekend. Let's just call it 300 real estate agents, real estate brokers, real estate investors. Most of them, 85% had not experienced the crash last time.
Exactly.
Half of the 15, right? So 85 not, 15 left. Half of the 15 busted out in the last crash. And then the other half, so the other 7.5% that's left were like me, where we took really good advantage of what's going on. So my job, state of the state, especially for real estate agents, was to tell them to buckle up. I'm very clear in that I think we're heading for a real estate depression. It's funny, since I started saying that, which I think was 3 weeks ago, Compass has come out, CEO, and said we're going to act like a 25% crash. Dude, you're freaking late.
Yeah.
You got to act like it's 40%. You're behind, buddy. You're not going to get ahead at 25%. So he's wrong. But and then the other real estate agents, right? Brian Lebo talked about MOLE, right? Months of life. If you're getting your beak wet on a transaction, you better figure it out, because otherwise you're going to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And if you're a flipper and you busted out there was a guy there last time who had $300 million of flips in property development in Vegas in the last cycle. He went bust.
Oh,
because Vegas fell off a cliff, right?
Yeah,
It went out.
yeah.
So, when I talk about,
do you know what he's doing differently now?
yeah, so first off, he's built a buy and hold portfolio since the last crisis, right? So bankruptcy took like 5 years of his life because it was horrible and traumatic and all of that. But he's built what he called an industrial strength portfolio of single family rentals, only singles.
Interesting.
In Vegas, because again, Vegas was cheap for a long time.
It was cheap for a long time. Mm-hmm.
So he says that's the do not touch pile. That's how he lives on. And he was doing new developments, but he sold off everything, and he got out of his lots. He bought land and he sold his options to someone else. So he's flat this time. He says I saw this coming and maybe overreacted, but he got liquid really fast.
Smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
I mean, it's better to, yeah. If you got burned like that last time, do you really want to step up and do that again? Yeah. So, yeah, I think people need. So, I talk real estate depression because a lot of my audience get paid on real estate transactions. That's going to hurt.
Right.
But Dion, you and I, we're real estate investors. None of us get paid on a transaction. No, none of. We're not mortgage brokers, agents. We're not. We're asset buyers. I like what's coming. The market's slowing down. I will only, like Dion said, I'm only looking at great deals. 2 years ago, good or great. Now, only great. I'm doing creative financing because I can be flexible and look for things. So I'm ecstatic what's coming. I'm still looking. I'm still investing. But part of our job is to educate people on this. This is going to hurt some people.
I don't disagree. Go ahead. Dion.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the point I was making. Is in 2008, the buy and hold investor did really well. The flipper, 300 million in flipping assets, did not. So they took a cue and said, here's my buy and hold asset class. If you're currently flipping, you want the crystal ball. If you're an agent or a lender, you want the crystal ball. You want to think what's happening in 6 months because it's episodical. It's a job. You stop working because whether you stop working or the work stops being there, your money stops coming in.
Exactly. You're right.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. We're starting to finally see a little bit in my area, a little bit, not much, just a little. But the prices that stuff is coming on at is absurd. It is absurd. It is not ever going to trade for that, even 5 years from now, if we were still appreciating at any regular clip of 3 to 5%. It is so unbelievably overpriced. So I look at it and I say, all right, we've got our buy and hold real estate. We're making that work. We've got the money coming in. And you know what? It's funny. I'm not in a rush to buy a next great deal, but I'm still seeing 1 out of 20 be a really good deal. Like really good. Like I would consider doing, I think I'm going to do this deal.
I actually have a new strategy that I'm using now, and it's because of the lazy and the current state of the market. Not what I think is going to happen, but what is happening now.
Right.
So, Mike, we're watching days on market, and when it hits 30 days, then you were 15, now you're 30. So I still have my normal search set up. I'm watching what's coming in, but I'm taking certain properties that are the ones I would want that are on the market for a while, like 5-7 days or so. I send that to my agent who sent it to me. And so this is how lazy I am. I go, if this is still on the market at 20 days, here's the offer I want to make. So this is 14 days from now. Here's the down payment, the owner or not owner, the earnest money, everything. So I won't even have to think. That offer will just show up and I'll DocuSign it 14 days from now.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, this again, if I was a real estate investor, or I am a real estate investor, trying to help other real estate investors and frankly, homeowners, the market is slowing down, at least most areas. Use it to your advantage. I would not bid on a first day listing today. I would not touch a first day listing.
I did. I will tell. I came on at 334. The property's worth 450 all day long.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was strategy or stupidity in strategy. I don't know which of the three it was. And so I talked to my agent. I said, let's get an offer over there. We did it. We said, we'll go to 360 because it was at 334. Okay. I said, we'll go to 360 if we can have the property before the open house on Saturday. We gave them 24 hours. They came back after 24 hours and said, we're going to wait for the open house. Okay. Sounds good. So I am going to be at an open house tomorrow, seeing how much higher I need to go. Because the crazy thing about this building, it's a 4-unit, 2 2s, 2 1s. In my market, that is $600 to $6,500 a month of monthly income.
Wow.
It's way, 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 way off. So then I get the rider, the multifamily rider. They have tenants in there for a couple of them have been for a few years. One of them has been for 17 years. One of them's been for 25 years. They have never raised their rent. Their 2-bedroom is $510 a month.
And I would say market's not 600, right?
16, market 16. And so it's going to be challenging. But yeah, I think that, Mike, I like your strategy of kind of that weight. For me, it makes sense that, except for the fact that there's still so little inventory coming, that I'll still be in on every single one. And again, because I'm doing my work, because I know what that asset's worth, I'll throw out a number that's 25,000 over list without a care in the world, because I hope that I get it. So now we'll see what happens on Saturday. Dan, any last closing thoughts?
It always comes back to, don't get into analysis paralysis, because there's so much data out there, and we're going to tend to watch the scary stuff. We're going to look at the train wreck, not the flowers. The train wreck is just, it holds our attention better. It's always a good day to buy a great deal. Keep hunting for the great deals, no matter what you hear about what's going on or what could happen, because I'll be the first to admit, no one knows. No one.
No idea.
What are rates going to be at the end of the year, Dion?
So we're close now. I think by the end of the year, 4.6
I think
for first time home buyer.
There's 2 more raises in it, Mike. What do you think? So how, any other thoughts on this?
This is the magic. This is the magic question for 2023, right? Because I've not made any call on 2023.
No, 22, end of this year.
No, I know. And that's,
Okay.
well, that's what I'm trying to say is,
All right.
if it is 4.6, I think housing probably has an up year next year. Not up huge, but not zero.
Yeah.
I actually fear, if I had to pull a number out of my ass right now, I'd say 6.1. So we're off by 1.5 points. That's a huge difference.
Well, so here's the big difference. I still think the Fed, they're probably going to do the next 0.5 raise.
Yeah, September.
50 basis points or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're going to realize that that's not fixing things, and that an increase would be too bad to stir the economy. Yeah. They're going to lower it. I still think I'm calling it soon, because like I said, I'm not a predictor.
Yeah,
this is just
fun. Just fun
from what I'm seeing. Right.
You're smarter than them. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's logical thinking, Dion.
That would make far too much sense, and that's exactly why they'll do exactly the opposite stupid thing. I think I'm much closer to the 6.1 than I am to the 4.6, and I believe that they're going to raise it at least 50, if not 75 again in September. And then I think that we're going to get another rate hike before the end of the year.
I think we get a rate hike at the next 3 meetings. I think it's 50, 25, 25.
You think so? So another point. But even that other point, then what's that bring us to? 3.25?
3.25 to 3.5. Yep.
And banks on typical margin are at least 200 basis points. I mean, you're in the 5s. Then
well, it's really what's the 10-year going to be, right? That's the question, right? You go 3.25 on the Fed funds. The 10-year's got to be what? 4.5?
I think probably 4. I mean, the thing that I've been saying for 6 months is QT scares me far more than the rate.
Oh, no question.
Starting to sell those assets, and where'd the buyers go? Where'd
they go? Yeah,
aren't they in here? And that's the thing that starts to concern me more. And is there any China contagion?
Oh yeah, that stuff's blowing up. Oof.
That not going to banks and not getting money, and that's a little bit crazy. So, Dion, my friend, tell me where everybody can find you.
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
It's true. Tuesday night's live stream starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time, because he can.
And because I'm trying to have my friends jump into that live stream with me, you get actually more content, more information, more answers.
It's true. I'm always very excited to get there, mostly because it gets me out of Tuesday night bedtimes. Most of the time. But I know Ashley won't watch this, so it's kind of okay. Mike, where can everybody find you, my friend?
One rental at a time. My live streams are Saturday at 8 a.m. and I'm excited to announce we're doing a deep dive with Prop Stream tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our students.
Very cool. Awesome.
Somehow they can fish for sellers with high equity and pre-foreclosure and all that.
Fish where the fish are. It beats the heck out of just doing like a zip code and charging and spending $6,000 when you can target it. Much
got it.
better idea. So as I always say, we try and create great content for you. Hit the like button, please, and also subscribe. 11:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sundays is when the Lumberjack does his, and yes, I'm speaking in the third person, my live stream. It's a lot of fun. We'll answer all your questions and have some fun in the process. And I am working on a couple of imitations because I have too much time on my hands home alone at night with my wife and kids sleeping. So guys, thanks so much. We'll see you in segment number 2.
Ciao.